It's certainly about time to change the oil in the transmission of my Priority 600X. It's recommended that you change it after 6,200 miles or 10,000 kilometers, and it's been just about that. So it's cold outside, it's the middle of winter here in Connecticut, so it's really the opportune time to do it. So let's get busy. So what do you need? Here's a replacement gear oil that I bought from Priority directly. And it costs 40 bucks including shipping. And it's only a small amount for one change. I know that you can buy oil on the internet that is not quite as expensive, but I've also heard that if you do that and something happens to your gearbox, your 5-year warranty might not be in effect. So I'm going to stick with this for now. So what do you get for the 40 bucks? Well, you get the oil and you also get a plunger. Now, what they sent to me was the oil and this plunger. However, it doesn't have any fittings on the end so that you can connect it to your gearbox. Fortunate for me, I have an oil change kit for my hydraulic disc brakes that didn't cost me all that much, and it has all the fittings that I need. Let's proceed with this. The first thing I'm going to do is warm up the gearbox because it's about 55 degrees here in my garage. Well, that's plenty warm enough. Now let's take the Allen screws out of the gearbox so that we can drain the oil. So the first thing we'll do is take the cover off of the gearbox. And it just snaps off with a screwdriver, very easy. Now you can see right here, there's a lot of grease there and it's quite dirty. So I'll be cleaning that off. To do the job, I'm using a 3mm Allen wrench. So the first screw is located down here. And there goes the oil. It's draining out nicely. Now, in order for it to fully drain, I'm going to loosen the top screw. So the oil's drained out completely, and now I have the plunger that was supplied by Priority, along with the connector, the brass fitting to go into the fill hole, and I'm just going to connect it here and plunge it once and have some air blow out through here. I can see it's still dripping a little bit. See if we can get some more out. I got a couple of drops out, so I think the gear case is pretty much empty at this point. So now let's fill this up with 60 milliliters of oil right to this mark here. And here it is. To do this quickly, I'm going to do this off camera. Before that, I want to put the drain screw back in place. So now I've got the injector filled up with the 60 milliliters of oil. I've connected it here. And there's a nice handy little clamp that I will release to allow the oil to fill into the chamber. So I've released that, and now I'm going to push down on the plunger. See how easy it is to fill this. So here it goes. Easy as that. So all of the oil is inside of the gearbox. Now I'm going to clamp it off again. Now that it's clamped, I'm going to take the fixture out. A little bit of air released when I took that fixture out, and now I'm going to replace the fill screw. By the way, here's the old oil. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty dirty. Look at the bottom of it. So I held it up, I swished it around a little bit, and there's no signs of any moisture in the oil, which is a good sign. I don't see any large metal pieces, There are some small metal fines in the bottom, and I believe that's just because this is the first oil change that I've made on this bike, and as gears wear in, they naturally have some burrs on them that come off. So that's it for the oil change. Now, as you notice here, there's a series of gears on the front. You can see them turning. And there's a lot of old dirty grease in here. I'm going to get rid of that grease, and then I'm going to put new grease in. Let's see just how easy it is to get this grease out. It appears that there's quite a bit. It's caked right in there, as it should be, so that it will lubricate the little gears that are on the outside. I'm going to just take the majority of it out with a screwdriver, being careful not to scratch anything. I'm going to use a rag and some cleaning fluid to get the rest of it off. So I was able to get the majority of the grease off, and now I'm going to put some marine grade grease in here because this is only protected by a plastic cap, and moisture can get in here. So you want to use a very lightweight marine grade grease before you put the cap back on. So I'm going to use this grease by Finish Line. It's a marine grade, and it's specifically used for bottom brackets on bicycles, and I think it'll do the trick. Now I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Clean up the dust cap. There's some of the old grease still on here. Put the cap back on. Snaps back in place, and we're good to go. So as I mentioned, I used my brake bleeding kit, and I got this on Amazon. It was about $25. I'll leave a link to it in the description below, and it's for Shimano brake systems. So there are many different kits out there, so you can choose whatever's right for your brake system if you decide to do things on your own at home. I know some of you just take your bike to a bike shop and everything is done professionally. So if you like to tinker like I do, and you have the time like I do, being retired, it's a fairly easy thing to do. Not only changing the fluid in the Priority 600X transmission, but also your hydraulic disc brakes. So that's it for now. I think I'm all set, ready to go, waiting for warm weather. I've got some long bike tours planned, and I'll be covering that in a future video. So once again, as always, thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day and happy pedaling.